Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits, as it should. Hopefully you guys are good. Missed you guys yesterday, but I hope you guys had a good day off. If you used Friday, the day after 4th of July, for a day off, hopefully it was everything you needed it to be. It definitely was everything it needed to be for me over here in my neck of the woods. But we are here together to have a conversation about something that dropped around 4th of July. And I'm like, what is going on here? Another one? Yo, another one, everybody. Another one. Okay? And we have definitely got to talk about it. This is absolutely crazy in my personal opinion. But we knew this was all going to start happening. We knew this was inevitable. And now we got more information. Diddy's in some serious trouble. Although it looks like he's having a grand old time and living his life like it's golden. But we're going to talk about all that and so much more on this show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Again, please do me a favor, though. Before we get into everything, hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. If you're watching on other platforms like Facebook, X, any of those other spots, please be sure to hit that reaction button or hit that like button underneath that video as well, wherever you're watching this show, whatever platform you're watching this show. And of course, do not forget, if you are watching on those other platforms or are on those other platforms, please be sure to follow me on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That would be amazing. And of course, crush that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel as well. That would be amazing and it would really mean the world to me as well. We talk about a lot of things on this channel, everything from true crime all the way over to pop culture and everything in between. So be sure to crush that subscribe button because we got some things to talk about on this one. This is pretty crazy. All right. Again, and there's new updates in regards to Diddy's cases, especially a federal criminal investigation, a grand jury probe. It's going to be interesting. We got to talk about it. So let's get into it. Don't forget to hit that join button down below. Please become a member or check out my Patreon. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. It's going across the bottom of the screen right now as we speak. Show some love if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. There is so much that's being... Diddy has had quite the year. Okay. Well, actually, it's been quite the year. I mean, a lot of these things started happening. Cassie's situation happened right before the turn of the year, if my memory serves me correctly. And we've seen a lot of stuff going on with Diddy. Diddy's having an interesting 2024, to say the least. All right. There have been multiple lawsuits just being shot down the pipe towards Diddy. Accusations of trafficking, SA, etc., plying people with chemicals and all these things. Unfortunately, we've got to use a lot of code words. So just a fair heads up and fair warning, we're going to be using a lot of code words today. Okay? But there has been something recent happened over the past 2 days. There was an adult film star by the name of Adria English. She has come out and has claimed that he forced her to have relations with people that he knew at many of his infamous parties. Some of these parties that used to be called the white parties, his infamous white parties. She was one of many, she claims, that was made to, put these in quotations, entertain the guests. And more than just serving them a drink and engaging them in a great enthralling conversation. No. She's claiming she was forced to do these unthinkable things with guests, okay? With, adult-like activity with other guests at these parties. There is also, of course, there's some new information about a criminal investigation, a federal criminal investigation that's underway right now, revolving around our diddler right here as well. Like I said, this is some really crazy stuff. And I'm still trying to wrap my mind around all of this. Okay. Like I said, she alleges of being G'd, finessed, as we call it and say it on this show. Okay. I'm going to say at least once. So she alleges that he groomed her into being ST'd, okay? Being moved, okay? Trafficked, which is absolutely wild. And again, not out of the ordinary from what we've heard in multiple other victims' lawsuits as well. The countless documents that we've seen, the countless documents that we've read through, so on and so forth. Clearly, there's a pattern here. I know that there is going to be some neck of the woods, some corner of the universe that's going to sit here and say, "Oh, she's a bad actor. She's a liar. She's a crying wolf. She's just here for the bag, for some financial gain, so on and so forth." All I can say is that is up for the law and up for the courts to decide, right? Yes, there are some people out here that will say anything to scoop up a bag. That is very true. And it's tragic because we do live in a world where people make false allegations just so they can make some monies. But at the same time, I don't know. With the amount of allegations that have been said, have been put out here against Diddy, it doesn't seem too far off. But then again, you never know nowadays. But I say we err on the side of caution. We hear the information and let the court do its thing. Okay? As they probe, as they look into things, as they do their criminal investigation, I'm sure they're going to unearth a lot of things. Okay? So, we got to get into some things. Like I said, it's very wild. Okay? The allegations. All right. So let's take a look at this article here. All right. And then there's, of course, a comment that was made by the lawyer later, like an update, which we're going to look at here in just a minute. But Diddy hired a former adult film star to have relations with people at some of his legendary parties and threatened to blackball her and her model boyfriend if she didn't comply, according to a new lawsuit filed. Adria English, whose stage name was I'm Unique, okay, says she first met Diddy at around 2004 with her boyfriend when her boyfriend was auditioning for a Sean John modeling gig. In the docs obtained by TMZ, Adria claims things got freaky with Diddy right out of the gate. Adria claims her boyfriend and another model were asked to perform OS, okay, on Diddy in order to get the job. She says her boyfriend refused, but he got a second chance with another Diddy associate when another Diddy associate offered him the job, as long as he got Adria to work as a go-go dancer. Someone dancing to the music on, on a stage, vibing out, that kind of thing, keeping the, that party or that club vibe high. Right. Okay. So as long as she was able to work as a go-go dancer at his upcoming white party in the Hamptons. And let me tell you something, the white party, Diddy's white party was the party you wanted to be at. Okay. Anybody who's anybody in the game, In the music industry, movies, etc. I mean, it's a big party. Okay. A lot of people would fight to want to be in that room, okay, or at that party, okay? Just so you guys know, it's a pretty high profile party. This is her right here, as you guys can see. All right. So she and the boyfriend agreed, and she indeed worked at the party over Labor Day weekend 2004. The lawsuit includes pics of her there, which we just saw right here. This is her at the white party, literally. Okay. Pictures of her there, and she says, she subsequently worked other Diddy parties where she regularly had to drink alcohol that was laced with some type of narcotic like X, okay, and was encouraged to flirt with guests. Although she did not have relations with guests initially, she claims Diddy finessed her, G'd her, into STing over time. Adria claims things ratchet up, okay, when Diddy demanded she have relations with Jacob Arabov, okay, famously known as Jacob the Jeweler in hip hop. According to the suit filed by her attorneys, okay, she was forced to have relations with him and then was paid an additional $1,000 on top of what she usually got for working Diddy's parties. Now, pretty interesting stuff here. All right. She was asked to do this. She was asked to be a part of this, be a go-go dancer, do your thing, kick it, blah, 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 flirt with the guests and all that stuff, which, if you really think about it, that's what happens in a lot of these bars, these big old clubs, the people who are working at the bars are there to keep you there, to spend more money, to have a great time and all that. And a lot of the people that work in the cocktail part, like say they're doing a booth or something like that, a lot of times it's your best face forward, giving, being flirtatious, having a great time, along with your guests, right? But making sure your guest is having a good time. But especially with the men, if the men are having a good time and they're around good looking, around women, they tend to stick around a lot more and spend more money. And this is just an old thing. That isn't the problem. Flirting with the guests is no big deal because that's kind of how it is in the game, okay? In the bar industry, okay? Because it's just a platonic thing. It's not putting your hands on somebody. It's just having a good time, right? Being conversational, making that person feel comfortable, so on and so forth. But at the same time, if there is a very thin boundary that can go from being flirtatious to something else, right? And now we're seeing that it went from, just being flirtatious and having a great time to bang, now you're having relations with people somewhere, wherever she was going to, with some of the people that he either worked with or appreciated their work, or he was working on some sort of deal with them or something like that. Okay? But that's absolutely crazy that she was finessed into doing this kind of stuff. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Diddy thought because of her past, because she was a former adult film star, maybe he thought that it would be no big deal for her to engage in these kinds of acts. I don't know. Because of her past life, because of her past career, I don't know. But still, very, very messed up that he made her do those kinds of things, right? And that he was threatening to destroy her life, right? Blackball her, so on and so forth, right? But we've heard this kind of situation a million times before, haven't we? So she took a photo with Jacob after the alleged A, which is right here. That's Jacob the Jeweler. All right. after the alleged A, okay, while still at the party, and claims Diddy himself personally congratulated her for having relations with Jacob as directed and told her job well done. Jacob is listed as a defendant in the lawsuit. Okay. She also claims things got worse after that because she was being passed off to other people at Diddy's parties. And they too SA'd her. She's also suing a woman named Tamiko Thomas, who she accuses of facilitating Diddy's STing operation. Now remember, okay, so this is Tamiko right here. Now let me just say this. We all remember, all right? Let's keep it real funky here. All right? We already heard allegations of Diddy having a team of people around him that would conduct or make sure that these finessings and these STings would actually happen without a hitch, right? Make things were running smoothly, so on and so forth. There are people who are literally on other lawsuits, including Little Rod's lawsuit as well, that are named, that are just like, hey, these are all his cohorts, all of his minions, making sure that Diddy is happy and Diddy has the people that he needs and the girls that he needs and the mans that he needs and all that stuff at his parties. So this could just be another version of the one of the first minions before the new ones, or before the most recent ones right now. Okay, because there's a slew of names right now, from Lil Rod to Cassie to all the other women that have stepped forward, right? That are more later in the 2010s and up, right? So this is 2004. You know for a fact he's got some people that are working these women and maybe these men to make sure that they're there to do whatever he needs, whatever he sees fit, right? To be used at his disposal. So again, this is the first time I'm hearing about Tamiko, right? From all these other lawsuits. So it's going to be interesting to see what Tamiko and even Jacob the jeweler even says. Because that's crazy. In fact, Adria says Tamiko is the GM to Diddy's JF. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. Like I said, she could have been the person, the ringleader, the recruiter, so on and so forth, bringing these ladies in, bringing these men in as well, making sure that they're at these parties and they do whatever Diddy wants. You get a little bit of money if you do a little something for me on the side. Go over here and, make sure Jacob the jeweler has a good time. Okay? Just make sure Jacob the jeweler's having a good time. See to it he has a smile on his face before the end of the night. You feel me? I'm just saying. Those are probably the things that he's saying. And then, of course, you're bringing in a lot of people that are willing to do whatever it takes to be in the room, in the same room with all these powerful people, right? Just to even rub elbows with these people. And then that person, somebody like this guy right here, like the diddler, is taking that opportunity and he is exploiting the hell out of it. Crazy, right? But let's continue on. She also claims Diddy promised to advance her career, even helping her join a girl group to enter the music business, but backed it up with forceful demands and threats to blackball her and her boyfriend from the industry if they didn't comply. Now, I'm wondering about the boyfriend too. Let me keep it a buck, okay? I'm wondering about the boyfriend too. Sup with the boyfriend? Where he at? I mean, obviously, they're not together anymore, right? It's 2004. It's 20 years later. So my assumption is they're not together no more. So whatever happened to the boyfriend? Where's the BF at? Can he confirm these claims? And yeah, Jamie, she had a boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shoot, hey. Even former adult film stars need a little warmth when they get home at night. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There are plenty of adult film stars out here that are even married, y'all. In real life, married, okay? And they're still out there filming the hibbity dibbity, okay? But I am kind of curious about if the boyfriend is actually saying like, hey, yeah, he said the same thing to me. He threatened me as well. I'm kind of curious whatever happened to this guy as well. And if he's going to come out with his own lawsuit, because I keep wondering, was he used in the same fashion or was it just Adria the entire time? Right? So, just questions. She says she eventually did escape and returned to California in 2009 and believes Diddy blackballed her and her boyfriend as punishment. We've reached out to reps, and of course, they have not heard anything back yet. What else is new? Adria claims she has suffered emotional trauma, including intimacy issues and painful memories as a result of the alleged STing. Of course, she's suing Diddy, Bad Boy, Tamiko Thomas, Jacob the Jeweler, and others seeking unspecified damages. Now, like I said, this is very, very strange. Now, I will say this. Brenda said she could have stayed home. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, she could have stayed home, but at the same time, does she know what she's walking into? And you also got to remember when does she know what she's walking into when something like this occurs? Something like this type of treatment happens? You don't really know what your night is going to be until you have that night. Then on top of it, you got to remember, this is somebody who's going, okay, I just want to get in the same room with all these names. To be in that room, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have sacrificed a lot just like that, just to be in the room with all of these names, all of that power, all of that money, all of those connections, right? You got to remember there's so many people out here that would do exactly the same doggone thing. Not the STing, but the willing to do whatever it takes to get into that room. And then once you get into the party, next thing you know, it's like, you better do this or you're out and we're going to blackball you. You won't be able to work. You won't be able to do a damn thing. Right? So a lot of these celebrities, especially this man right here, is being alleged, and he's already said, my bad. I was trying to be a better man. I'm doing everything I can. I found God. I found therapy. I found sobriety. I'm no longer a bad man. Please forgive me. He already confessed to doing some wrongdoings to people. Okay, at least with the Cassie video, right? So he's clearly a bad man that should be keeping his hands to his doggone self, right? And then, of course, now that all these allegations are coming out, it's like, hey, this is somebody that was a user. This is somebody who took the opportunity to manipulate, groom, finesse, whatever you want to call it, every single person that was just a person who had just bright eyes of anticipation, of positivity, anticipation of maybe to change the trajectory of their careers and all that stuff, right? There's a lot of people, not even okay, yes, she's a ex-film star, ex-adult film star, sure. But I'm talking about the people that have been in there that were models. They had aspirations of becoming singers, a producer, or continuing their careers. They know what this man has. Shoot. Okay? What, like, the phone numbers that are saved on his phone, I'm sure people out there at that time would have done anything under the sun to get their hands on just 2 phone numbers out of his Rolodex. You know what I mean? And he knows that. So he used these people, took advantage, and he just kind of went through them like they were nothing. Real talk. Like they're nothing. Now, the lawyer did have his lawyer did have something to say that I did want to share with you guys, which, to me, I think is whatever. Okay. But Jonathan Davis, his lawyer, said no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never SA'd or ST'd anyone. We live in a world where anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason and without any proof. Fortunately, a fair and impartial judicial process exists to find the truth, and Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail against these and other baseless claims in court. Now, I'm just going to say boo to this because you got to remember, I know I said Rolodex. That's a whole old school backy. But anyway, all right, I call BS on this because I feel like, have we heard this before? Haven't we heard this same process and this same reaction before? Her name starts with Cassie. Nobody remembers that? Nobody? Don't worry. I'll wait. I'm kidding. I'm not. But you realize, as they said, it's all baseless claims. This is just a witch hunt. This is just an opportunity for somebody to scoop up a bag. Well, he didn't really say that, but that'd be hilarious if a lawyer said that in a statement. This is just another opportunity to scoop up a bag. But this is another opportunity to make some money. This is for financial gain, so on and so forth. And then what happened then? What happened after that, though? Well, after the Cassie thing. Oh, yeah. A little bit later, then what happened? Skadoosh. There was a video showing him dragging her through a hotel hallways and throwing a vase or a vase, because some of y'all say vase, a vase at her for crying out loud. And then that's when he did the video of like, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear the lawyer step forward, I feel like he's just singing for his supper now. He's just doing his job now. He's just painting by numbers. No matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that he has never done these things. Didn't he do that to Cassie? Didn't he do that to Cassie, though? Ain't that the claims and then the video that dropped? Hamburger. And you're still going to come out here and say he has never SA'd or ST'd somebody, yet her whole lawsuit documents years of SAing, STing, and abuse? Okay. Like I said, he's singing for his supper. Now this lawyer is just literally doing his job. All right, well, Diddy wants me to write this up, so okay, I'm just going to, I'm just gonna write it. I'm going to have to write it. He pays me, my retainer is ridiculously high, so, I get paid for this ish. So I'm just going to write this ish up, and it's going to be bullshit. Because, for a fact, someone's going to come out with another video and catching Diddy doing something else again. But I'm going to put this out anyway. That's literally what this lawyer probably is doing right now. Man, I got what? Okay. I am on his retainer. All right. I get paid big bucks. All right. I guess I'll write this up when I know it's BS. Yeah. So let's continue on. We got a video I want to share with you guys. We got some things. Let's take a look at this.
Rapper and music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is facing another sexual misconduct lawsuit.
Another one.
10th such suit filed since November. In this newest, a woman accuses Diddy of grooming her for sex trafficking at his white parties between 2004 and 2009. And it comes after Diddy's legal team was notified last week he was the subject of a federal criminal investigation.
Federal criminal investigate. Okay, let me just tell you guys something really quick. We've been known this was going to happen. So if anybody's sitting here going, oh my God, then you've been living under a rock, real talk, and maybe you need to get that rock off your back, okay? Because this is clear that this was going to happen, that a federal investigation was going to be done, that they were going to do a probe, okay? I hate that they say probe. Like, I feel like I'm getting abducted by aliens. But you know what I'm saying. That they're going to do a deep dive. into Diddy's case. Diddy's cases. Okay? So it's only a matter of time that we might find out that he really is a J.E. Epstein or a G, and then he ran through or worked with many GMs. Ghislaine, you see what I'm saying? So give it some time, because this stuff is coming down, and the state of New York is going to come down with that hammer so hard, he won't even know what to do with himself. Yet I am understanding that he's now trying to sell one of his properties, one of his homes, for like $70 million. And there is a lot of speculation that he's probably trying to cash in so he can check out. But there's no confirmation of that thus far. Let's continue on, though. Shall we? Federal criminal investigation. This man's life over. Done. But I'm telling you right now, this is the 10th. They just said it. This is the 10th lawsuit since Cassie's. Okay? Counting Cassie's. It's 10 of them. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Okay? 10 of them now. All right? And I'm telling you, there's going to be more. This is decades long of SA, ST, R, except all those things. Manipulation, finessing, and abusing that power that he has.
That news comes 3 months after his homes in both Miami and Los Angeles were raided by authorities, and after the world was stunned back in May when video surfaced of him attacking former ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway. NewsNation's Caitlin Becker joins us live following all of this. So, Caitlin, what can you tell us about this newest lawsuit?
Well, Nicole, it just doesn't seem like Diddy's legal issues are going to let up anytime soon. The civil lawsuits are piling up, and now there is a report of an ongoing federal investigation into the disgraced rap mogul.
Sorry, I have to say this. Didn't we already know that the lawsuits weren't going to let up anytime soon, since like Cassie's? I'm just saying, didn't we already know that? You know what I mean? No disrespect to the reporter. But at the same time, didn't we already know? Don't we know this? You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable. New York, the state of New York is not going to let this off. Okay? They're not going to let this up. Okay? This is okay? They got that hold on him right now, like that bite on him, and they're not going to release that grip. They're just not.
Two sources familiar with the situation confirmed to NBC News that federal investigators are presenting evidence against Combs to a grand jury here in the Southern District of New York. But the nature of the evidence and the accusations against Combs are just unclear at this time. The U.S. Attorney's Office hasn't confirmed the investigation, but that's not too surprising at this stage. Grand jury proceedings are done in secret, and the purpose of convening one is to, of course, seek an indictment, meaning to file formal criminal charges, but there's no indication at this time that charges will be filed. However, sources do tell News Nation that if an indictment does come down, it could potentially be within the next 2 or 3 weeks, and that is not all.
In the next 2 or 3 weeks, he may be indicted on a slew of charges. In the next 2 or 3, I'm telling you right now, like, it's kind of funny because I thought in my mind, I'm like, we're done hearing about Diddy. I was like, I don't think we're going to be hearing about Diddy anytime soon, kind of thing. But then I was like kind of laughing to myself. This was like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, no, I think we're going to be hearing about Diddy for at least the charges and everything. And then this investigation and all that. I'm like, this is going to be going on for a while. This is going to go on for at least a year or more. You got to remember, let's not forget, if he is indicted, which he will be, that's what I feel. They're not going to let, like I said, just like the classic one just said, like a pit bull. He going to latch on that pit bull. Okay, going to latch on, and they're going to hold on until they have something, right? And I guarantee you, they're going to find something, and they're going to charge him. And then it's going to be another year or so of just him in and out, or some big, huge lawsuit that, going back, or some huge court date. He's going to show up, and they'll probably have it all on camera, and we'll be watching it and talking about it as well. So we ain't done hearing about Diddy's case and Diddy's story. This part of his story is not over yet. Guarantee you that. Okay. They're going to find some stuff, and they're going to take him down fast. Scary. Because I'm sure there are other people speaking out that haven't even filed any lawsuits, but they're speaking. I'm sure speaking right now, becoming witnesses or whatnot. Because I'm telling you, the state, New York, they are literally, I'm sure, chalking up a slew of evidence to take this man down. I will say that. So they don't play.
A new civil lawsuit was filed Wednesday against Combs by a former adult film star named Idra English. You will no doubt be familiar with Diddy's famous annual White Party. And according to these court documents, English claims that while working the party, she was forced to take drugs, was groomed, and then sex trafficked from 2004 to 2009. This is the 10th civil suit filed against Diddy. Many of those suits do contain very similar accusations. There is also an ongoing federal criminal sex trafficking investigation into Combs. You'll recall that 2 of his homes were raided by the feds earlier this year as part of that criminal probe. And this all comes following the release of that disturbing video showing Combs attacking his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura at a hotel in 2016. Now, he had previously denied any violence toward Ventura when she sued him last year, but he later apologized on social media when the video leaked.
Now, let me tell you this, okay? And shout out to News Nation, because we got this one in another video from News Nation, and they brought a lawyer on to break down the federal the criminal investigation and all that, the grand jury probe and all that stuff. But still, no matter what, like, you can't come back from saying you have a whole team of people saying what Cassie said is a lie. All those allegations, it's a witch hunt, that she's just trying to take a man down, so on and so forth, right? He said all kinds of stuff to try to save face. Lawyer made a statement, all that. And then that video comes out and it's dropped hotter. It was like a bomb harder than Hiroshima. And then he, of course, goes on and says, my bad, lo siento, désolé. What? So anything now would be very hard to believe from him, because he was caught putting his hands on somebody who claimed that he did these things to them. But then he was sitting there saying profusely, this ain't right, enough is enough, so on and so forth, right? It's going to be very, very hard for any person to look at this and go, "Oh yeah, no, he, a good man. He just being misunderstood." No. See now that video that video, no, that was AI. Like, no, he admits it. He takes accountability for the video, and that's when he said he found God, got sober, and is finding therapy. I'm just a man, just trying to do my best to try to get through this world. Let me grab some of these super chats really quick. First off, thank you so much, Natasha B, for being a member for the past 7 months. He better get his affairs in order and make peace with his family, because they are coming for him when it gets too quiet. That's when they're going in. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's kind of what happened, right? The allegations came out, and then we all were like, oh my gosh, dun, dun, dun. You know what I mean? Very, very clutching our pearls moment, right? And then all of a sudden after that, it was a lull. And then there was the raid, right? And of course, there was other lawsuits out there too. But I'm just saying that was a huge bombshell. Then there was the raid. Then it just kind of there was another little lull. And then they dropped that video of the hotel video, right? And with him going, oh yeah, my bad. I found God. I'm sober and I'm talking to a therapist. So yeah, that's really interesting. So, but I agree with you too, Natasha B. It's going to be when it's all quiet on the Western Front. And then next, you know, boom, you're going to get hit. It's coming though. They say the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens. Okay, Panda, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Dr. Ed, what up, though? How you doing, brother? Thank you so much for the super chat. Pascal, do you think he will flee? Feds don't play. You do a very professional job and your mods. Yes, shout out to my mods, too. Shout out. Always holding it down. Always holding it down. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Dr. Ed. I appreciate you being so supportive and, always having your thinking cap on, just like every single last one of y'all, too. Okay. Real quick, this other one, Penny Forbes. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 5 months. It's all fine and good, finding God, getting sober, but there's a price to be paid in this life. Yes. Okay. So to answer, and I agree 100%, Penny Forbes, to answer your question, I forgot to answer your question, Dr. Ed, my bad. Do you think he will flee? I don't know. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. There's speculation that he will. Okay. There is speculation that he will, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to be the type who's going to sit there and just face and fight it. Because if he runs, that's his whole legacy gone. That's his whole legacy gone. You got to remember, this is somebody who has been cultivating his career for decades, his brand for decades. Yes, all of it's crumbling down right now, but he still has kids that look up to him. He still has a family that still looks to him for guidance and whatnot. I hope he would not run, but there is speculation that he would. And if that's the case, then, that's sad. He should have faced the music and just, be an adult about it. Okay. Just be a man about it. Just be a man about it. Okay. And just face the doggone music. But unfortunately, there's a possibility he could hop onto a private plane and never come back again, doing sun salutations with Russell Simmons in Bali. That's the next thing I'm thinking, that he's just going to run off with Russell Simmons. Okay. Namaste, drinking tea, hanging out, sweating his nuts off in Bali. But I don't know. He is selling a lot of, he's selling a big property right now, $70 million. Okay. Now, but I do understand that he has to pay Cassie quite a bit of change. And I'm sure he has to pay all of his lawyers, his team, etc., for all those things, for all of these new lawsuits that keep coming out. He needs money for that stuff. He doesn't have his liquor brands no more. He doesn't have his Revolt, if I'm correct, anymore. He stepped aside for that as well. So all the things that he would be getting serious bags from, he don't have those bags anymore. And he lives a very expensive lifestyle, I would assume. So for him to sell a property would just mean he's maybe just trying to get his financials in order. Or, yeah, there's the other possibility of him trying to run off. But it doesn't look like he's doing that. Why? And I was going to say this later, but I'm going to show it to you guys now. Okay? We're coming back to this video, I promise. But there is a video or photos, or there are claims at least, that he is out here whitewater rafting. He's chilling right now. We're going to get into that really quick. Let's just let her finish what she's saying here. Okay? Let's let her finish what she's saying real quick.
Toward Ventura when she sued him last year, but he later apologized on social media when the video leaked. He's maintained his innocence against all these other accusations and has not spoken out about that latest lawsuit or this criminal probe.
All right, Caitlin Becker, thank you.
Yeah. Again, he hasn't said anything. The only thing he has said is through a lawyer, and his lawyer's sitting there going, "Oh, this is horse manure. This is fake. He has never, ever SA'd or ST'd anyone, which is a lie. Okay? I'm sorry, that video, I know that video does not show him SAing or STing anyone, but the fact that he was lying through his teeth with all of his team lying through their teeth fees as well, saying, oh yeah, he's never done anything like that. He would never put his hands on her. It's a witch hunt. What happens? We see a video of him doing exactly that. So why would we believe him now with all these other things? Because that was some vicious stuff that we saw. Very vicious stuff. He got caught red-handed. Then also, let's not forget, he paid a hotel employee to erase or destroy the evidence of what he did to her. But whoever he paid, that $50,000 allegedly, he just paid somebody $50,000 just because. Real talk. Unless he had that footage for himself and they raided the house and they were able to get that footage. That's the only other thing I can think of. But let's take a look at this. It says, see, like I said, if you out here whitewater rafting amid all of these situations that you got coming towards you, you got a federal criminal investigation being spearheaded right now as we speak. You're about to get probed, dude. You're about to get probed and you are whitewater rafting. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. You need to go and live your life and all that stuff. And maybe he's realizing like this is the only moment he's going to have free for a long time. Let me whitewater raft. You know what I mean? And he's rafting for his life because he knows this is probably the last time he's doing anything fun for a very long time. Maybe that's what it is. But that does not give me vibes that he's ready to run. That gives me vibes that he's like, I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay my lawyers. We're going to do what it do, and we're going to fight this out. Or we're going to do what it do. We're going to shock, intimidate, and scare all of these victims, and they're all going to renege. Maybe. But you know for a fact he was whitewater rafting his life away. Because he's like, this is my last day of freedom. You know what I mean? Something to think about, but let's take a look at this. See? Look at it. He's doing just fine. Okay? He's doing just fine. He's not sitting here going, oh, well, it's me. I can't do nothing. What am I going to do? No, he's whitewater. Like I said, maybe he's sitting there going, this is going to be my last moment of life of being free because I'm about to get my ears probed. Maybe that's what's going on. Okay, so he may be in hot water legally, but it didn't stop him from enjoying some whitewater rafting in Wyoming over the weekend. This is what he did over the weekend. Okay? He got a new lawsuit on Wednesday from a former adult film star, claiming that he G'd her and ST'd her, was spotted paddling through the rough waters while on a rafting trip outside Jackson Hole, Wyoming on Sunday. There he is. Look at that. Woo! Get some. Now, you never know, though. Let me think about this real quick. This could have been on his bucket list. Think about that for a second. Maybe he's like, I'm about to be walking. He's like, this fall is going to be a very cold fall. Maybe he knows winter is coming. So he's like, you know what? I got a bucket list. I want to skydive. I want to whitewater raft. I want to do this, and this. I want to have one more couple things on this list that I wrote when I was 19 years old. And I'll make sure I get that all done before I see the inside of a courtroom. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. Think about it for a second. Yeah, little Patty, he probably does. But while you do, you got to make sure you have white fingernail polish. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the playlist. Just go check out the playlist. Throw glitter just said, but why Wyoming? Well, maybe because of the whitewater rafting. I mean, you know. I think it's interesting. And yes, I think it's a little tone deaf too. But he looks like he's having the time of his life. But through all that water that's on his face, there's probably tears coming down his face, streaming down his face because he's like, this is the last moment of freedom. Bucket list. I don't know. But like I said, it's just interesting. He's having fun though. And yes, black people do whitewater raft. I know some of y'all in the room are thinking that right now. Get it out your minds. Okay. But yeah, he thinks that I agree with Gia. Exactly. I think he thinks that he's untouchable. I think he thinks that he has a strong argument. I think he thinks that, but I also think that it's going to be a thing where he's going to go, I'm going to use my old ways. I'm going to scare. I'm going to shock. I'm going to intimidate. That's exactly what I'm about to do. And scare all of these victims. Maybe I can't get all of them to bow to me, but I get a couple. And you already know there's going to be at least 15. Over time, there's going to be at least 5 more, right? The summer ain't over yet. There's going to be a little bit. And then watch. He's going to be like, I can at least get like 10 of them down. I can maybe buy them out. What if I just give them a couple mil? That's why I keep thinking about the selling of these properties, not only for legal reasons, but also maybe to pay some people off. Okay? Zenny, thank you so much. Valid point, Pascal. It does seem like his mindset. Intimidate. Yes! That's what I think. He's doing just fine. But he also probably is thinking, these are the last few moments I get to just do some fun things and get my mind off of stuff. And hey, what's a great way to get your mind off of something like a life-threatening activity? Because, whitewater rafting is no joke. You make one mistake and you're not that strong of a swimmer, it's a wrap, right? That's one way of not thinking about things. Throw yourself into the fray. Throw yourself into some rapid waters. I'm just saying. Interesting, right? Interesting. But let's continue on, though. We got more. We got another. I'm going to leave that up while I get this video up. Okay? He out here whitewater rafting. Or maybe he thought this is the best example of America. Whitewater rafting. Maybe that's what he thought. I'm done with the jokes, guys. Let's continue on now.
Is Maria Cruz Melendez, a former federal prosecutor, helped put R. Kelly away. It's really good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to start.
Oh, my gosh. Sorry, you heard that beginning, right? You heard that, right? Yeah, currently, I'm out of jokes. I'm sorry. Let's just go back to the person who took R. Kelly down. That was bad. That was a bad joke. I'll do better. I swear. Let's continue.
Is Maria Cruz Melendez, a former federal prosecutor, helped put R. Kelly away. It's really good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to start with the basic question. What does it mean to be a subject of an investigation?
Yeah, so when you're a subject of an investigation, you are being reviewed to see whether or not you're possibly committed some crimes. You may not be the target in that you could ultimately be found to be just a witness at the end of the day, or the government could find that you have, in fact, committed alleged crimes and that they're looking to put your name at the top of an indictment.
And that can shift, right? You could be a subject and then be a target.
Absolutely. You can be a subject. You can be upgraded to a target if the evidence is there to move you up there. You could also be downgraded.
Why send him a letter, right? Because they don't have to send him a letter saying that he's a subject.
That's correct. They don't have to send him a letter. Sometimes defense counsel may ask specifically for a letter. Prosecutor can make that decision as to whether or not they're going to do that. Sometimes if they're looking to put the particular target into the grand jury, They'd like to make it very clear to the individual that they're going to be questioned as a target of an investigation. And so they'll send you a formal letter.
What information are they trying to get from him? They care. Sean Combs, come on in. Do they reveal the whole case to him about everything that they have? They trying to fill in pieces? Do they say, hey, listen, we got a case against you. We're giving you an opportunity to tell your side of the story. What do you think? What kind of information do they want from him?
Well, they're going to be looking for admissions at the end of the day, admissions that they could use against him if they're able to get an indictment and then take them to trial.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, of course, I'm an inquisitive mother lover. All right. But if they're trying to get admissions from him, do they really think that will work? Does that usually work? Hey, come on in. Okay, we're doing a investigation, a criminal investigation, a federal criminal investigation into these allegations, so on and so forth, blah blah blah, right? If he's sitting there maintaining innocence the entire time, him showing up to a scheduled, hearing or meeting of some sort, would that really? Do they really think that that's going to? Do they really think that that's going to work? Suddenly, he's just going to show up and they're going to ask him some questions, and he'll be like, "I did it, damn it, I did it." No, I really don't think that they would do that. I don't think it would be that simple, right? So for him to come in and just here's the stuff that we have against you, like, you know what I'm saying? But I want you to see what our argument is going to be against you before you see the inside of a courtroom. Just so you know, this is the thing. These are all the things. This is how the sausages are made. Just want to show you how it is. All the ingredients. Why would they do that? Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. All I'm saying is I wonder why they do something like that, because that gives him an opportunity to make mental notes or have his lawyer there as well, that's maybe taking notes as well and being like, okay, we need to find a way around this argument, around this evidence, so on and so forth. I don't think he's going to show up, sit down, and then they just show him a picture or show him some more footage of something, and he just sits there and goes, yep, I did it. I admit it. You got me red-handed. God, you guys are so good. If it wasn't for you and your dog and those snotty kids, I'd be getting away with it. You know what I mean? That was Scooby-Doo. But you know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to happen, right? But okay, that's just very interesting. That's very interesting.
What's likely to happen, though, is that his defense counsel is going to tell him to plead the fifth, and he'll invoke his right to remain silent. And then ultimately, they're not going to get anything from him.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So why bring him in then? Just be like, yo, you're about to be indicted. You already know for a fact he ain't going to say a damn thing. So why waste all that money, taxpayer money, and all that time for that? You see what I'm saying? But then again, I get it. It's due process and all that crap. But I'm like, he's not gonna show up and be like, oh, you got me. My bad. You got me. Damn, I'm in trouble. Damn. He's not gonna do that.
From the grand jury.
Let's talk about the timing of this. I find it very interesting that this lawsuit has come out right on the heels of knowing that he's the subject, reportedly that he's the subject of the investigation. Do you think that Miss English, and maybe I'll couple that, any of the other people who filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs, they are witnesses that are speaking before this grand jury?
I think it's very possible. I think given the fact that there have been searches of his home already, the government had probable cause, at least in the eyes of a judge, in order to get those search warrants. That's what they need, probable cause. And so they've gotten facts from somewhere. They've gotten facts likely from documents, from witnesses, and those witnesses can include people from Combs's inner circle, as well as potential victims. That
lawsuit today echoed what was said in other lawsuits, this idea of a racketeering enterprise, a sex trafficking enterprise. There was an allegation, a comparison to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. When you read allegations like that in a lawsuit, do you think that is potentially the case that's being built against Combs? And by the way, I said against Combs. We don't know, presuming it's a case against Combs.
That's correct, because there are other individuals who were listed in a lot of those civil lawsuits. And so the government is likely investigating multiple people. Multiple people might be subjects and ultimately targets. But at the end of the day, I think given the nature of the information that's out there in civil lawsuits and perhaps what they've turned up in their search warrants, it's very likely that they're looking at a complex, possibly racketeering investigation.
And that takes time. The reason I say that is because homes were raided in March, right? We don't know exactly. We can't even confirm 100% whether a grand jury has been impaneled. And by the way, just talking about a grand jury for a second, is this a grand jury whose sole task is to issue an indictment, whether it's against Combs or anybody else, or is it more of a fact-finding mission?
I think it's both. Ultimately, federal prosecutors can use a grand jury as a fact-finding tool. They can bring witnesses in, get a sense of what they have to say. They can have the grand jury issue subpoenas. And so that really is fact-finding. But the goal, ultimately, if the evidence is there, if they find that there's enough evidence to issue an indictment, they're going to ask the grand jury to vote yes on an indictment.
And the fact that they've, again, if the reporting is true, that he is the subject of the investigation, they want him to come in or speak, does that give you a timing of where they are in the grand jury process? Like charges could be imminent or not, assuming it's a grand jury that would issue an indictment?
It's really difficult to tell with federal prosecutions how long the investigation is going to take. But given that they've had these search warrants, the investigation has proceeded at least since before March when they obtained the search warrants. And so it's very possible that one step that they could do is look at what's sort of the low-hanging fruit, what they could charge him with now, and that they think that they could bring that to trial. And then ultimately, they'd seek an indictment, and then they may have time to continue to investigate and add additional charges.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to join.
So, it's like, okay, we're getting as much as we can, as much information as we can, so we can continue to build an argument or a case against Diddy. Now, now the thing is this is some crazy stuff, right? Obviously, this is some. I mean, as we start to learn more and more stuff, the fact that they are taking a lot of these people, a lot of these victims' claims, they're taking it very seriously. Okay. And it all started with Cassie. And as they started to, look into, do more probing, okay, they're finding something enough for them to actually attack this guy, right? And try to do whatever they can to take him down. Now, somebody asked, what is racketeering? And the thing is I was going to bring this up because I was like, okay, I know that a lot of you guys want to know, what is it, right? So there is an article here, which is interesting, okay? So let's take a look at this article real quick, okay? And I appreciate you guys asking because I was looking it up as someone just asked, what is racketeering exactly? But let's take a look at this, okay? So what is racketeering? The crime explained, okay? So the Chicago Mafia Gambino family, all right? The Lucci's family, okay? These notorious groups dominated organized crime in New York and Chicago for decades, while prosecutors brought them down with one sweeping charge: racketeering, the finances, guys, okay? So now the federal government is using racketeering to go after a dozen college athletics figures and test administrators in the largest. Oh, we remember this whole college admission scandal that happened with all the celebrity kids getting into schools that they clearly shouldn't have gotten into and all that. So this is kind of what they're talking about here. All right. Cheating scandals and mob activity may appear very different, but both fall under the broad umbrella of racketeering. So what exactly is racketeering? Okay. So let's talk about it. It's not a specific crime. Simply put, racketeering means engaging in an illegal scheme. It's used in the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, known as RICO, to describe 35 offenses, including taking, I got to use these code words, bribery, arson, and extortion. Racketeering is not a specific crime. It's a way of thinking about and prosecuting a variety of crimes. So when we look at Diddy, for example, right? when we look at Diddy, Diddy is being accused of a variety of things, not just one, right? Not just one little thing, or one big problem. He's being alleged of doing a lot of big things, right? So it's like almost they're kind of going, okay, we're getting him for all of this, right? All under one umbrella, racketeering. Okay. So this particular lawyer that wrote this or was giving the explanation added that racketeering is not a simple criminal act. Prosecutors must prove a pattern involving at least 2 instances of racketeering activity to convict someone under the law. It's purposefully broad. Okay, Congress passed the RICO Act in 1970 to combat organized crime. Since then, the law has been used to target some of the highest profile mafia members, including Antonio Carrallo, the head of the infamous Lucci's crime family. But racketeering is, quote unquote, not only associated with organized crime. The federal law is pretty broad and has even been used to prosecute insider trading cases and anti-abortion groups who block access to clinics. It has to affect interstate commerce. Okay, so according to the U.S. government, to convict someone of racketeering, prosecutors must prove 5 different criteria. Man, I can't talk today. I'm sorry. A criminal expertise existed. A criminal enterprise existed. The enterprise affected interstate commerce. The defendant was associated with or employed by the enterprise. The defendant engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity. The defendant participated in at least 2 acts of racketeering activity. The minimum sentence for racketeering is 2.5 years. Convicted racketeers can also face a fine up to $25,000. Now, you got to remember, though, all right? You got to remember this. He's going to be looking at a lot longer time. He's not looking at just 2.5 years. He's looking at a long, long time, okay? Lucchese? Is it Lucchese? Okay, Debbie, thank you. Appreciate it. Lucchese. All right. Didn't know that. I'm now forever changed. Okay? So this, it's a slew of different, okay? It's a slew of different crimes that are being committed, okay? And that's what's basically happening here with Diddy as well, because there's claims of him, moving weaponry and all that stuff as well. Let's not forget he's being accused of STing, moving victims around, okay, cross state lines and all that as well. Okay, there's a lot that he's looking at. So they're saying that it's more than just one thing. Racketeering is not just one thing; it's a slew of different things as well. Okay, so pretty crazy stuff. All right, nonetheless, and I'm telling you right now, Diddy's in trouble, and I think we can all agree on that. Okay, this is some crazy stuff. No matter what, this man has been accused of doing some very, very bad things in the past. We are now having another lawsuit coming his way, or that has already been thrown at him right now as we speak. Another person saying, this happened to me too. And she was being thrown around in these parties, being used by God knows what, being forced to drink drinks that had certain types of chemicals, certain type of party favors in them. Okay. And all the while being threatened with her career and her own boyfriend of the time, his career as well. It says a lot, guys. Okay. Now we got a whole other thing where the state is really looking into all of this. And he could be looking at some serious racketeering charges here, guys. It's pretty crazy. But if he did the time, he most definitely needs to pay the price or do the time, right? So we'll see what happens here. As the story continues to unfold, it's a crazy downfall. It's a crazy downfall. But that video says a lot. Now, if there's a way to show proof positive that he's innocent on these other claims, I'm hoping that he's doing I'm hoping his team is doing everything they can to show proof that he's innocent on some of these claims. Because like I said, just because he was caught doing what he did in that hotel video does not mean that he did it to everybody else. That doesn't mean him guilty on everything. We got to remember that. He could be innocent. He could be, but at the same time, I already know where my heart lies, right? And my thoughts lie in regards to all of it. And I'm telling you right now, I was just about to say that. In the court of public opinion, it's a wrap for him. It's a wrap. No one's going to sit there and buy any of his clothes or, check out anything he endorses, because what he's done is a very, very bad thing, regardless. And the fact that it was caught right there on video, some bad stuff, y'all. Okay? Magster just asked me, but I can't get this question out of my mind. Have you ever been to a white party? No, I never have. Man, if I ever did, I would tell you. I'd be like, man, I was there. I saw that, blah, blah. Nah, I ain't never been to no Diddy white party. And thank God I never did. All right? Because it sounds too bad. That sounds dangerous. And no, I never have. But I know that's a very random question. I'm like, what? What kind of question is that? But okay. Hey, it's a question. You know what I mean? Nah, I am not connected like that. I wish. Well, no, actually, I don't. I take that back. I don't wish, actually. I don't. Not with this kind of situation. But there's plenty other people I would love to meet and be able to and have an opportunity to share a drink with that isn't laced with anything. You see what I'm saying? But, whatever's coming to Diddy, it's coming fast. Just like that white water rafting video. It's very interesting, guys. All right. But is he trying to take off? Don't know. There's a lot of claims that he may be trying to run. There's other claims that he's not trying to run. I guess only time will tell on that too. But he is selling properties and all that. And I wonder what he's doing with that money. Give it time. We'll see what happens. For a fact, everybody's watching every move he makes right now. So justice is coming, guys. Justice is most definitely coming. All right, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much for being here. All right, on this Saturday evening. I know that you guys could be doing a slew of different things right now. So I appreciate you guys spending that time with me. Can you guys do me a favor before you head out? Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on any of these other platforms that we're streaming live on right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please don't forget to hit that follow button on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That would be dope as hell. And of course, crush that subscribe button on my main channel. Go check out my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there. Yes, we made it past, by the way, 5K on the secondary channel, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. All right. But please be sure to go over there and crush the subscribe button over there. We got some other content coming to you guys this week. Okay. Summarized and clips and all that stuff. So be sure to be subscribed to that channel, please. And thank you. Okay. Subscribe to this channel on my YouTube, the main channel here. Of course, go hit that join button down below. Become a member if you can. That would be greatly appreciated as well. I keep saying greatly appreciated, but seriously, that would be dope. And also, please check out patreon.com/The Pascal Show. All right? Become a patron if you can. All right? But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your 4th of July weekend as you should. All right? And I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Have a blessed one, guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll be talking to you guys soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.